We're back in on our hardcore idiot, and it's a brand new month, which means it's time to do the Oyster. And I can't remember the reward that we got last month, but unless it's a die, then it's never going to be worth it. Right, let's see what we get then, and we get 2.4 million worth of items. That's not bad at all. Ranger boots, green hide body, and wizard boots trimmed. Alright then, I'm actually pretty happy with that. Well, that's us off to a good start so far, so here's hoping that the rest of the episode just continues that way. Which it might actually, because it's story time. And our story begins sometime last week, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, I had decided to have a stab at the new Croesus boss, until I realised that you can't actually stab it, but have to instead scale it to death. But I'm a pretty skillful chap, so what could go wrong? With Hunter being my highest skill, I went to go pick some flubbers, or spores, whatever it is, from a rather dead looking Dagannoth. And to begin with, everything was just pretty straightforward. You run away from the thrown goop, you run away from the fairy rings, you run away really fast from the slimy buggers, and you anticipate just before the stunning slimy dude hits. So far, so good. The sticky fungus, on the other hand, well, I wasn't quite as prepared for it. At least the MVP was to the rescue. Although that rescue was short-lived, thanks to a rather thrown slime. But hey, I suppose watching others get loot rather than yourself is still pretty fun, right? No, you're damn right it's not, so straight back in to try for a second time, but this time a bit more prepared, seeing as the normal restore potions do absolutely nothing for your skills, and adopting a new technique for the thrown slimes could have worked, if they weren't again thrown directly at you. But that's why I had the very few, very pointless fishing and hunter potions to restore a very trivial amount of my stats. But enough to let me contribute to the kill at least. Ooh, that middle fungus. Lovely points. Oh, those statues. Lovely construction experience. Really nice experience actually, because that's 71 construction for me. But sadly, that bloody sticky fungus got me again. So third time's a charm, and this time actually bringing some logs to deal with the damn fungus. And that kill actually went really well, just until it didn't. So another attempt, and another bullshit slime throw. Double teamed on that one, but eventually a chance at a kill. And I heroically did it. Hunted that big mushroom bugger to death. Man, I'm so strong and handsome. And the rewards weren't too shabby either for a first kill. But from here, the kills get smoother and easier. And it was killed again, and again, and again, and again, and again. The big old pointless blue dragon idiot even thanked me for being such a monster during the kill. I was unstoppable. But the loot, man, the loot. That lovely, lovely, lovely loot. Loot for absolute days. Loot out the wazoo. Never mind the skilling experience. We even reached level 80 in mining, which does mean it's bayonet grinding for me soon. But after so many kills, it was time to take it up a notch. So we went in as a 4-man team, with myself carrying the others of course. And that's when the real rewards started flooding in. My first, Onyx, followed shortly after by a second. And also maybe a sneaky third one, as well as some other pretty rare rewards, which I'm sure will come in rather handy down the line. And that's pretty much been my Croesus slaying experience. Pretty lucrative, I must say. Oh, and very quickly, remember that construction experience from the statues that I was getting? Yeah, well, it turns out, after you do a few statues, that experience adds up a bit. So yeah, that's 75 construction for me, which, yes, that was a requirement for the Plague's End quest. Who would have thought, eh? And that is the end of my Croesus story. So, let's actually get on with today's shenanigans then, which admittedly does still have something to do with Croesus, but just before we get into that, there is something else that I need to do very quickly. So full disclosure, after last time's Monkey Madness experience, I probably did about 10 laps of the agility course and then got very bored, but was reminded about the autocycles down here in Zaros's throne room, which also gives me some pretty decent agility experience. So yes, I have been pedaling away pretty much AFK on these bikes, and we are now just shy of 2k until 75 agility. So thanks to the experience from these bikes, that's me just hit level 75 in agility. Which of course is another requirement for the Plague's End quest, as well as giving me access to the Flash Powder Factory. Interesting. We are definitely slowly starting to tick off these requirements for this quest. Just a few more to go now, which thanks to the drops from Croesus, we might be able to get some experience into some of those different skills. Because I've got a few onyxes to cut and turn them into some jewellery, but I'm going to require level 72 in crafting to cut the onyxes, as well as 72 in crafting to actually make them into rings, which we're pretty close to level 72 crafting, just 10k until 71, and then a further 80k until 72. And I definitely have a few gems spare here to maybe get that experience with. Thank you again, Croesus. So just like that, there's 71 crafting, and just as I start to run out of my dragon stones to cut, I have been reminded that I also nearly got 300 crystal keys, which is essentially nearly another 300 uncut dragon stones for me. So just a few runs to the crystal chest for those, and that's me then hit level 72 crafting. So I should now be able to cut those onyxes. Which yes I can do, so we'll cut a few of them, and then we will smelt them into some onyx rings. Normally I would need level 87 in magic to perform some level 6 enchantments for our onyx rings, but seeing as I am only level 80 in magic at the moment, I am going to need to pot up with this magic essence potion, which just takes me to level 87. So let's enchant these rings into some rings of fortune. So perfect, we now have some rings of fortune, which I believe is tier 2 luck. Actually, it's even better. It's apparently tier 3 luck. But for me personally, it's just going to be a good way to get around the place without having to go back and recharge my Ring of Wealth. So I'm definitely pretty happy with that. And I still have a lot more uncut gems to cut there for some more crafting experience. So that 310 experience until level 75 crafting really shouldn't take too long. And that's going to be another requirement done for the Plague's End quest. So I'm going to level with you. Whenever I do one of these hardcore idiot episodes, I always try show some form of progression for my character in any way, shape or form. That's why I squeezed as much progression as I possibly could there at the beginning of this episode, because from here on out, I'm not going to get much done. Because there is a reason why I made 2 Rings of Fortune. Yes, of course it's nice to have one of them to wear as a teleport, but I want the tier 3 luck no matter where I go or what I wear, so it's time to upgrade our relics. Yup, it's archaeology time. I'm level 59 archaeology at the moment, pretty much thanks to Tears of Guthix, but I only required level 58 in archaeology to make the Ring of Fortune Hand of Glory, which handing this relic into the monolith will permanently grant me tier 3 luck. And to get the third Hand of Glory, we set out here to the Caradet, and the Hand of Glory itself can be found inside the chapel here, just on the altar at the back. But of course I just simply can't pass this Pontifex barrier. No, of course that would be too easy. I'm going to require getting a Pontifex signet ring first of all, which means having to come solve this prison door puzzle, which means that I actually need to do some mysteries. Which in order to complete the mystery, I need to find some lore pages. So I need to spend quite a bit of time doing this garbage. So I'll see you guys in a few years' time, whenever I finally get the 4 log pages from here. Well, I now have all of the log pages, so we'll head over to this Muppet and see what to do next. And he gave me a dial to repair this broken dial, so we'll just quickly put it in. So now I need to come over and play with these other dials. And according to the wiki, the ice should be the last dial here, and that should be the door unlocked. Perfect. Let's continue down. Oh. After we complete the mystery, of course. That's 2 mysteries solved now, and that's definitely more than I was planning on doing. Well, unfortunately, we have another barrier to pass, but the debris next door is where we're going to get our Pontifex signet ring from. So in order to pass the barrier, we are going to need to get ourselves a Legatus pendant first. So that is more archaeology for me, sadly. And that, unfortunately, is level 60 in archaeology. Yay! Oh goody, we got the pendant on our first dig. Superb. Right then, let's see what materials we're missing this time to restore the pendant. Actually, that's not too bad. 2 more ancient viz and a cut dragonstone. I wonder if I have any of those kicking about. And I can see for the Pontifex signet ring, I'm also going to require some more of this ancient viz stuff, as well as another dragonstone. Alright then, I can go get those quickly. So with one completed pendant later, I think we can add it to our tool belt, which yes we can. So now we should be able to pass this barrier and head through to get this signet ring. Well, another eternity coming up. And again, good, we got the ring on the first dig. At least the game has been somewhat kind to me today. I mean, it's still making me do archaeology, so it's not all that kind. But that should be everything we're going to require to restore this Pontifex signet ring, so let's do it. And by the looks of it, we can add this to our tool belt, so we'll do that as well. Right, let's go get this Hand of Glory then. We should be absolutely fine passing this barrier, yes, right, okay. Straight to the altar then, and we'll pick up our reward. Now I'm not going to make the same mistake as I did last time, and I'm going to check up on how many chronotes we're going to actually require to activate this relic first. Which, here's the Ring of Fortune relic here, and this is going to cost 3000 chronotes, as well as 150 of the relic's energy to activate. And I only have 350 chronotes to my name, as well as a maximum of 150 energy, so I will need to remove the other 2 relic powers I have just for this new fortune relic. But that's fine, tier 3 luck trumps both of those powers anyway. Right. Let's get those chronotes. And a few more restorations later, we now have all of the chronotes that we're going to require for this. So let's use our Ring of Fortune on our Hand of Glory and go through all of this really exciting dialogue again. Yes, place it on the Hand of Glory. Yeah, yes, let's just do this. Grand. We now have our Hand of Glory Ring of Fortune relic. So we'll offer it up to the monolith. And that's us unlocked a Ring of Fortune relic power. Perfect, we will always gain the effect of tier 3 luck. Well, we will, just after we come in and unharness the power of this, and then harness our power towards this Ring of Fortune one. So perfect, that's it activated, and we now will always have tier 3 luck. Absolutely grand. And you know what? I actually survived a stint with archaeology there, so I think it's time to quit whilst we're ahead. Thanks to Croesus, I now have an abundance of items to get my levels up, and I also have tier 3 luck overall, which is really rather grand. So I would say that I've had a very productive day, and yes, just before I do something to screw that up, I think I'm ending it here. So, as always, thank you very much for watching this episode of Hardcore Idiot. And if you have enjoyed it, then why not give the video a like and subscribe to our channel as well, just to keep up to date with our journey here. So thank you very much for watching, and just before I leave you, I've got one more additional treat for you, a nice rabbit genocide. See you next time.